Now we will begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 39 through 43. Listen to part of a talk by a resident advisor in a dormitory for first-year college students.
I need to make sure you understand how to get housing for next year. When you entered as first-year students this year, the school assigned you to a dorm and a roommate. But next year, as returning students, you'll choose both your roommate and your dorm. But whether or not you actually get to live in your first choice depends on what number you or your roommate draws in the lottery system. The system gives priority to the students who have been here longest. Fourth-year students get the first block of numbers. Third years get the second block, and second years, like you'll be, get the third. The lower the number you draw, the sooner you choose. Number 1 gets the first choice. Number 2 gets the second choice, and so on. You can use either your own or your intended roommate's number to make your room choice. If your roommate for next year has been at the school longer than you have, they'll be in a better block of numbers, and so will have a better number than any second-year student. But most of you will probably be rooming with other second-year students, and so neither of you may have a great number. You may not get into your first or even second choice. Of course, if you've made plans to live off campus, you don't need to enter the lottery at all. Dorm space will be especially tight this year because the dorms on North Campus will be closed for renovations. This means that those of you who draw the worst numbers won't be able to get dorm housing at all. In that case, the housing office will help you find off-campus housing.
Number 39. What aspect of student housing does the talk mainly focus on? Number 40. Why do the students attending the meeting need the information that is given? Number 41. What determines which group a student is placed in to choose housing for the next year? Number 42. Who is not expected to participate in the housing lottery? Number 43. What special problem will affect housing next year? Questions 44 through 46. Listen to part of a lecture in a zoology class.
Before I tell you about the interesting discovery related to Tyrannosaurus rex, I need to review something we studied last semester, the difference between what are commonly called cold-blooded and warm-blooded animals. In warm-blooded animals, birds and mammals for example, the body temperature normally stays within a narrow range, no matter what the outside temperature is. As a result, a warm-blooded animal is usually active in both cold and hot weather because its body temperature can adjust to the temperature of its environment. On the other hand, cold-blooded animals, such as most reptiles, amphibians, and insects, are unable to create enough heat internally to raise their temperature above the temperature of the environment. So, for example, the temperature of a cold-blooded animal falls when the environment is cool. I hope this distinction is clear. Now, moving on to Tyrannosaurus rex. You may know that dinosaurs, being reptiles, are generally believed to have been cold-blooded. Well, a recent research study found that the chemical composition of the bones of Tyrannosaurus rex was consistent with the bones of an animal that has a very narrow range of internal temperature, indicating that it was probably warm-blooded.
Number 44. What is the main topic of the lecture? Number 45. What is likely to happen to cold-blooded animals when the weather is cold? Number 46. Why does the speaker discuss Tyrannosaurus rex? Questions 47 through 50. Listen to a guest speaker being introduced to a local business group.
Thank you all for coming out this evening to meet sociologist Ellen Lambert. Ms. Lambert specializes in research on the workplace and recently has been writing about the future of work. This topic should be of special interest since I know many of you are already at the forefront of workplace technology. For example, let's have a show of hands to see how many people here telecommute at least part of the time. I see 8 hands raised. Well, you 8 folks who work at home and communicate with your office via computer represent one of the trends Ms. Lambert has described, that people are becoming less tied to the workplace. One of the important tools for telecommuting is electronic mail or email. Email lets you send and receive messages almost immediately on your computer, but you control when you read them and when you respond to them. This technology allows people to have more control over time than when relying solely on the telephone. Our guest tonight will discuss how these important changes will alter the way we work. But before turning the floor over to Ms. Lambert, I would just like to remind you that she'll be available to answer any individual questions at the reception immediately following this talk.
Number 47. What will the topic of Ellen Lambert's talk be? Number 48. Why does the speaker ask people to raise their hands? Number 49. What does telecommuting involve? Number 50. According to the speaker, what is one effect of electronic mail?